Hello, no one. I will be talking to myself for the next session, and that will probably teach me a lesson never to start the live streaming earlier than scheduled, and that would be a lesson to be learned. So that's okay. I can always learn. I'm just like you guys. So now I will be talking to myself for a while until you guys find your way through the maze and find the channel. Until then, salut. I will have a tea, which is green tea and lemon. Did I commit a sin to be here 10 minutes early? I'm sorry, 20 minutes early. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock, but it's 12:42 right now. I happen to be here. There it is. Hello there. And STE, what does it stand for? Let me know the protocol, gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Ignore the N. Okay, I'll ignore the M, but give me the rest. Who is the rest? STE. It's the first time I see this call sign, this thumbnail. It's a new thumbnail. Are you an old subscriber but new thumbnail, or are you the first timer here? Either way, we have a protocol: gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. That gives me a little bit info on you. Unless this is Sagota. Sagata. But it's new thumbnail. Well, this is what happens when I'm 20 minutes early. I thought, well, we can start early so I can stay a little longer. But looks like everybody's sleeping. Or maybe they've forgotten about me altogether. That's a possibility. Haha. Okay, Steve. Welcome. I will bear with you. I will tiger with you, bear with you, whatever you want to call it. Just give me the goddamn protocol. I mean, thank you for that. Male 30 from UK, that's good enough. But obviously, you've seen the channel before because you knew where you are. So just tell me when you get around to it, Steve. Did you actually get a notification, or you just bumped into it, or you? What happened? Mm. By the way, this tea is coming from your neck of the wood. It's a UK made Taylor's from Harrogate. It's a really good tea. It's a good bunch. I've switched from chamomile to this green tea and citron, lemon. It's really nice, really nice. There seems to be another person here as well, another anomaly. but but he or she seems to be shy. Come on in. It's safe waters here. You can come in, ask your questions in regards to things to do with thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, mechanical process, material process, order, anxiety, depression, OCD, HOCD, and breakups. So, safe place. Come on in. Steve says you've been helping me through a breakup, and taught me not to really give a damn about it. Found you through those bizarre breakup coach lunatics on YouTube. I got a notification. Yes. Oh, good. Well, great. Delighted to hear that. Yeah, you've seen you've seen other channels and coaches who try to get your ex back. And yes, we are a little different. We try to be. I try to be realistic and not to help people fooling themselves. In fact, I want to wake you guys up and allow you to learn about yourself, introduce yourself through understanding your psyche. What is the relationship between thoughts and consciousness? What about your fears and desire? Where do they come from? How are they related? What about ego? What does it have to do with how you think and how you feel? So understanding all that helps you to understand the movement of mind, movement of your psyche, and the fragments of your psyche becomes a little bit more known to you. And through that knowledge, you will not be so bamboozled easily or manipulated by even thoughts, let alone the words of other people outside of you, but the words that appear in your own head, which are all mostly intrusive thoughts and make you think that the thought, has credibility or comes from a deity or has a mission or some kind of a message, which is all nonsense and bullshit. And the thought is nothing other than another apparatus and ability, like eyesight. You see something, that doesn't mean you created it or you're interested in it. You're seeing it. It's an information coming to you through your vision abilities. And you decide if that is something for you to spend time, pay attention, focus, or ignore it altogether. Just like the debris that is in the air, you manipulate or you negotiate your way around it. You don't just go in front of, oh, just because there's debris in the air, I should breathe it in anyhow. You put a filter on. Or if you're walking about and you see dog shit or poo or garbage, you maneuver around it. You don't just sit and poke on it. Oh, it's here. It might mean something. Maybe I like it. Maybe because I see it, I might want to be a turd. No, none of that. Thoughts is the same. Shows up in your head, but you're supposed to be the master, the boss of it, not that the thought is your leader. You are the one who gives value or not to the thought. Thought is just a tool. If you understand all these things, then understand why you feel the way you do, because of the reactions that you show towards the happenings of life. And it's not necessarily that they're the end of your life or they're the complete summation of the journey of your life. They're just there. And you recognize them, and like many things else that we don't like or we're not interested, but they're there. We recognize them, but we go on with our own way and continue our way and build our own life the way we like it. So thought is not you. You're not thought. Brain is not you. You're not the brain. They've got stuff in them. You see if it's useful, you choose. You don't, you move on. Doesn't matter what it could be. Anything. Intrusive, nonsense, horrible things, insulting things, disgusting things. It's just a thought manufacturing machine, factory, this brain. It's got no other intelligence. It's got no intelligence. So don't be fooled by thoughts showing up. You're the boss. You're the master. So, for people, are you guys waiting for an invitation? The ones who are out there, it won't be coming. So that's as good as it gets. You walk in and it's an open clinic. Just ask your questions. No appointment necessary. Now, so you five are here, but one like. Isn't that shameful? With all the efforts that I've made here for this, to make this tea. Steve says, yes, I tried to get my eggs back at a huge cost to my bank account. All pass, thanks. And he says, yeah, she's off with a new guy to terrorize the thought were my own doing. I thank you for giving me a virtual slap. Good. All right. We're good on that. So I guess we touched the nerve here. Out of 4, 3 have given us the like, which is good, but they still haven't shown their faces. We are now in the incognito mode. Come on, guys, show up. 5 of us. Almost, you don't have to wait till 1 o'clock. I know the live stream starts at 1 officially, but I happen to be early, so God damn it, show your faces. Come on in, let's start the chat. Well, we started it with Steve already, so I guess we'll see you when we see you. So, Steve, how are things at your neck of the wood? Hope things are good. Carpe Diem is here. Says, good afternoon, Mehran, 41 Mail Canada. Thank you very much, Carpe Diem. I appreciate that for the protocol. And good of you to join us. Yeah, we're a bit early today, about 20 minutes. And people just beginning to, I guess, remember that we have a live talk on Saturdays at 1 o'clock. I did some advertisement this week on Facebook, and I don't know. We'll see if it has made any difference or not. Actually, I did lots of advertisement. It was 5 days in a row. We'll see. Luna says, Salam dear Mehran. Hello, Luna. Almost forgot today's Saturday. Yeah, well, there we go. You forgot Saturday or you forgot me? Either way. Glad to join you as always. Good to see you here. Steve says, things are okay. Thank you, Mehran. A tad rainy, but it's England after all. Yes, you're right. It's England. I remember. It's everybody talks about the rain in London and England in general, and I was there with my mother and brother when I was a kid. We traveled quite a bit in Europe every summer, but all I remember was sunshine and ocean, and it was beautiful. We were in Bournemouth, and ice creams and fun, playing with the kids. Couple of kids from the street. Girl I kind of liked. I was just a kid, like maybe I don't know 6, 7 years old. Maybe Nicola. Her name was Nicola. and the boy that we were all 3 of us playing, Peter and Nicola, I believe. Nicola. I believe these were their names, and I was very young. But we used to stay at Madame Pagnan's. No, not Pagnan's. No, no, that was somewhere else. We were Mrs. Parker. Mrs. Parker's, I don't know, motel, hotel, something. It was a nice place. Lots of visitors come and go, and they had the restaurant, and it was a small place in that little town. Very nice and very clean, and food was, mind you, I have to say, it was non-existent because I apologize. I don't mean to be rude, but English food is like, at least the kind that was offered in that motel, it was like, I mean, my mother would say, okay, guys, let's get up. Let me take you to a restaurant. After we had, it was like a split of tomato or some leaf of lettuce. And I don't know, that was pretty much as I remember the food there. So we had to always, it was quite limited in I don't know, kitchen talent at that place. But the lots of restaurants I would go and have great food outside. Um, and ice creams were great. Beach was great. We found lots of friends and different families at the beach. We got friends, and it was nice. I enjoyed it. And Luna says كيفك اليوم تمام شكرا تمام. See, I still haven't forgotten. Luna, female, 35, UK. Thank you for that. Casanova says, hello, Mehran. Male, 26, Beijing. Hello, Casanova. Steve says, Bournemouth. Very nice. They are exempt from the weather due to good behavior. The rest of us walk about in scuba gear, I'm afraid. Yeah, okay. Steve says, yeah, the food is bloody awful. I can only apologize for the distress. Don't worry, I was a kid and my mom was always gracious taking us to good restaurants after we tried the home the home kitchen that at Mrs. Parker's place. And so, it was great. There's no worries. And thank you for that. And Human Tail says, hi there. Hello, Human Tail. Good to see you here. And Luna says, perfecto memory, mashallah. Yeah, well, I've been out of practice, but I don't forget. An elephant never forgets. And I guess I... Well, I've been biking a lot these days, and I told you guys my son gave me a gift, a new bicycle, and this bicycle is awesome. It's a gravel bike, and it's called a Specialized. I forgot the name of it. It's a super hot bike. If I change the tires, if I ever want to, I don't want to racing, it'll be a racing bike. And it's awesome. I just love biking. I'll go usually about 20 kilometer pretty much every day. But these days I hadn't done it for like 6-7 days. So I'm doing 10 minutes less than my usual. So that route that I go, it's quite interesting and not easy, but it's what I like to do every day almost. About 10 minutes to the destination, one way, I stop and I turn around. I think I'm ready to do it again now. Human Tail says, congrats. How old is your son? Oh, my son is 30. And let me see, what's the name of that bike? It's right in front of me, but I just don't want to leave you guys. Go Specialized something. It's famous bike actually. And Luna says, how's your mama and Rain? Oh, thank you so much for asking. Well, Rain is good. Rain had a little cough, and so my son took her to the vet, and she's doing good, and she's just as lovely as ever. She's cute. It's like a child. It wants to play all the time. Mom is okay. Mom is. I visit mom every day now, and she forgets. She says, "I forget." There's so many things that she always talked about. She doesn't remember. So my brother and I and mom sit down and we talk about old days. We talk about things, things about today's world and things about how things were, our childhood and so on. So, but we laugh a lot, and she still forgets lots of things, and she says, "I forget." She says, "I'm not the same person anymore." And she says that. And so that is something on my mind. And thank you for asking, Luna. And Human Tail says, Mamma Mia. You don't look like a dad of a 30-year-old. Thank you. That's a pride of my life. That's the biggest project and the most pleasant um, experience in life. And I'm so proud of him, and I'm so close to him, and we're very close. So, yeah, I am. I've been a father 30 years. It's been an honor to be his father. Let's put it this way. I think it's an honor to, when fathers think of their children, they should always think, because children are not just our children to be learning from us, we learn from them. Teachers can come in all different ages and sizes, and we can all learn from our children, from a bird, from whatever. So it's an amazing experience. Luna says, is your bike a fold up one? No, are you kidding me? It's a real bike. What do you mean fold up? These toy things. No. Let me go get the name of it. I forgot. Okay, it's called the Specialized Diverge. Specialized Diverged. And it's my favorite color. It's yellow. Actually, he tricked me. I have a mountain bike, and I bought it when he was a little kid. I bought one for me, one for his wife, his mom, my ex-wife, and one for him. He was like, I don't know, 6 years old, and or 7 maybe. And then I've been riding the same mountain bike, and I love it. The one, and but he bought a couple of other bikes for him just a year ago or so, and he said, "Dad, you ride my bike, my mountain bike. This got disc brake, and I don't want you to ride that one." I said, "Well, I love that one." He says, "No, that's what you do." So okay, so he gave it to me. He says, "Yours." And that's a $3,500 bike. It was a really good stuff. And I rode it. We went to the mountain together. And I really loved it. And I said, "This is a great bike. Thank you." And then one day in the afternoon, he called me up and he said, text me, he says, "Dad, I want to ride my own, my old bike." And in my mind, I said, "Well, but you gave it to me. What do you mean your old bike?" But I didn't say that. He says, "I want to ride my old bike today. So bring it down to my, in front of my building. So I'll just take it and ride it with Dad today instead of my other bike." I said, "Sure." So sure enough, I, took the bike down. We lived close by and took it in front. He had his truck there, and he took the bike from me and put it on the back of his truck. And then he went around his truck, which I couldn't see, and he brought a beautiful yellow bike. It says, "Happy Father's Day, Dad." That was a real surprise. And it was a real, a nice way to do it. And I said to him, "I was going to give you shit because you gave me your bike and then you said, bring it back. I want to ride my bike." But I didn't say anything. So he was laughing. So we had a great time. And, and Human tells you, did you raise your dad single by yourself? You mean your son? Single by yourself or with your partner? Well, my ex-wife and I, we did get divorced earlier on in my son's life. However, we stayed amazingly connected. We created that love atmosphere for our son. We each had our own, personal lives, but we never brought that life into our son's life when he was very little. So we managed. It was amazing. Nobody could believe how we wonderfully managed it. Like to the point that my ex would take my son to school in the morning, and I would pick him up from school, come home, do homework, cooking and go martial arts and do things that tennis or whatever we had to do, and do homework. And then mom would come. Then I would take him to school the next morning. Mom would pick him up, go to her house, and then do the same stuff. And then after a while, when I had a different situation, then mom would come from her work, shop, come home to my place, and she would cook. We would all eat together. So we had created that atmosphere that our son knew that we are not together, but didn't feel like. Mom and dad were always there. Like the support, the love, the atmosphere never left him. So there was no psychological problems for future or anything. It was love and the connection and the mom and dad exclusively for him. So we created that, and then when he would do his homework and sleep, then mom would leave to her home, and I would continue, because after a while it wasn't switching every day, it was always with me, but mom would come in the afternoon after work and cook, and then we would eat together and create that family atmosphere to the limit that was possible, and so on. So we managed it very beautifully. And so it was not easy, but definitely worthwhile, because children come first, and you got to make sure that they have that support, love, protection, and feeling that they should have. Steve says, there's some amazing mountain trails for biking in Wales near me. I live in Chester on the border. I ride a Trek Marlin 6, but your bike is a serious bit of yeah, it is, isn't it? I love that bike. It's so light, especially compared to the mountain bikes with those thick tires. Mine is a gravel bike, and it's fast. It's fast, and I've got two side gears, the 50 and 38 on the left, which is the big wheels, and then I've got 10 or 11 on the back wheel, the small wheels. I love it. I really, really do. Really, 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 really do. Baby Spice and Ginger and Posh and all those Your Neck of the Wood singers. What was it? Spice Girls. Really, 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 really. Anyhow, let's see who else is here. And Luna says, yes, I know what that feels like when a parent's memory begins to very young. And she says, Alhamdulillah, may Allah protect them and keep them safe in our life, in our love. Yes, it's very sad to see mom and dad, or like my dad has gone, and his picture is on the wall. And my mom used to, I used to pick up the tennis balls where she was playing with the coach when she was much younger. First, how I got exposed to tennis, and then of course I went on and got coaches and stuff later on in my life. But I remember how sporty she was, skiing and tennis and all that, and now she doesn't like it. She doesn't like to see, she's not that mobile. She hates it. She was always a strong woman and sportish and very organized, very strict. She doesn't like it. I can feel that. She's frustrated that way. She is, I know. Human Tail, we have lots of nice trails here for bike. Like there's a place that we go and everybody goes there, all bikes. It's going up the mountains, 20 kilometer up. And I'm telling you, there are some downhills a bit in here, but you're actually moving up. That's a real huffer puffer. But I think I can handle it now better than before. And Human Tail says, rehearsing the question. Did you raise your son by yourself? or with you? Oh, that's the same question I already. Yeah, you just yeah corrected the grammar. Yeah. um, and Happy says, "Hi, love your channel. My ex was charming in the beginning, but changed after we had an argument a few months later. I got really mad at him, caused cursed and said F choice word you for the first time. After that, something triggered him, I guess. He started to curse at me and had anger issues ever since. I feel like I caused him to show me his ugly side of his. I feel so guilty. I made a nice guy turn." And Happy continues, says, "The question is, did I trigger this side of him or made him like this? I feel like his new girlfriend got better version of him. Maybe she will never trigger it and he will be nice to her unlike was to me." And Happy says 32, Los Angeles, female, I assume. And she says, "Thank you." Well, it's not like human beings, men or women, are not like a mechanical machine. In some ways they are. We can discuss that later, but a mechanical machine that you push a button that you've never pushed before and suddenly the whole function changes and they turn from a, I don't know, tennis racket to a sharp knife and start cutting. That is not a button that you've been pushing. You may have pushed a button and it could have surfaced from some kind of a old a memory of some abuse or some kind of a verbal abuse or some kind of a condescending attitude towards him that demeaned him by using negative words, and he might have been sensitive to that, which triggered that behavior, that reaction. However, even so, once you apologized or once you said, "Oh, we shouldn't be treating each other with such words," and you would have both retracted and would have recoiled into the normal past as how it was a few days before that. But that didn't happen. So it's not necessarily that you triggered or you turned or you caused. You might have. Everyone has a breaking point that could get really insulted, could be really disappointed or offended by a certain word that has been uttered toward him or her, especially when they don't think they deserve it, they haven't done anything about it. And you might have been frustrated for some reason, or you might have had some kind of a way to think that you should protect yourself because of your own past memory of somebody abusing you verbally or demeaning you or disrespecting you. And this time, because last time you didn't really stand up properly, you didn't really do a good job to defending yourself at the time where such disrespect happened. This time it triggered you and you came right on the top of it and you overdid it and you told him, "Fuck off." And so that kind of took away that image he had made out of you in his mind, that beautiful princess and so on and so forth, to cater for, and saw a rough and tough and someone who's going to mug him if he's not careful. So he didn't feel secure anymore. He didn't feel that he's got a lady that he should watch his mouth. Instead, he should now protect himself. That could have triggered you for one reason that we just talked about, and then triggered him for his past negative experience in order to feel, oh, he's now exposed, now he has to defend himself, so he came right out, swinging, similar way that you did, by words. And then from then on, that layer of respect was a bit broken. And everybody tried to be ahead of the other one, to kind of protect themselves by attacking. So offense became the defense. So you guys were probably going at each other's neck with not so proper words before the other one starts, as a fear of, oh, if I don't do it, then the other one will. So you both had some kind of a background that you were trying to protect yourself, and that protection turned into becoming an offense. No longer was a defense. It was simply, let me attack before I get attacked. And so that was the action and reaction emotion. But that doesn't mean that he should have continued, or you should have continued. It could have been remedied by simply a truce, a discussion that this is not appropriate and we should not create negative emotions by words, and words bring thoughts, thoughts bring images and emotions, and we should not do that. But you guys didn't. Obviously, you might have coiled back, but he didn't. So it's not your fault. You could have pushed a button and caused the reaction, yes, but that button is supposed to shut off when you let go of the button. It's not supposed to continue forever just because I once called you something and now from then on, I'm supposed to get it all the time. I pushed a button maybe by mistake, or I needed to, but now I'm not. I took my finger off the button and you did. But he didn't stop, so it's not your fault. Don't feel guilty. It's something you did. We all make mistakes, but he can't take that mistake and turn it into a eternally reason for him to be disrespectful or arrogant or misbehaving. So you take responsibility for what you did. That's fine, but not further than that. You're not supposed to take responsibility for the whole entirety of his behavior just because that one thing. You stumbled, you happened to flip your hands and you hit him in the head. Okay, I'm sorry about that. But that doesn't mean you should turn around constantly start slapping you because once mistakenly you hit him in the head. It was a mistake. It was a misjudgment. And it happened. Okay, now let's cool down. But he didn't. You said he turned asshole after that. So that is not your doing. You take responsibility for the portion that you're responsible of, but that's it. You didn't kill someone. And you certainly don't have that power to turn someone from some very proper, nice, gentle person into some monster. No, the monster was in there. You just opened the door and you forgot to close it, or he forgot to close it. So no worries. and Happy says, P.S. I keep doubting I made a wrong choice after seeing him happy in new relationship. Nah, come on. You see a snapshot of a relationship of an ex and you think, oh, well, then he's got it and, she's better than me and all that. Stop that. You don't see the rest of it. Next you hear that they broke up too, so don't worry about it. Whether they break up or not, that's not your wish. You just simply learn to choose, select better, and don't make the mistakes that you think you made, and don't think that that's the only way you can select people. You can select better, and you're always changing. Your consciousness is changing, and therefore you learn what things really attracts you and what things really don't. And your selection process will become more advanced as you go by. And says maybe he won't be a pathological liar, emotionally abusive to a new girl. Nah, it's not about the new girl or the old girl. They'll always go back. We have an expression in Farsi, where I was born and raised, my first language. It says, the baby wolf will always become a wolf. Meaning, regardless of where he's raised or whatnot. The one who's come from wolf eventually becomes a wolf. So it doesn't matter. He may hide it. He may, wrap it around some wrapping paper and choreograph it and be pleasant. But eventually, if he doesn't correct his consciousness, modify it, and attend to it, it will always come out the way it was with you. So don't buy into that snapshot of a happy-looking pictures here and there. He is who he is. Unless he fixes it up, it's not going to be because of the new girl. For a while, maybe. But that also will suddenly that honeymoon time will end and he will show his real furs and skin, or whatever the word is, real face soon enough. So don't worry about it, and don't what is it, regret, or don't envy. Just let it be. That wasn't meant to be. If it was, it's not about one mistake, one push, one button, and then the whole thing, falls over. No, it was. If it was a proper, suitable match, it wouldn't be just messed up with one or two incidents of this kind. It'll be fixed up. But obviously it wasn't the right choice for you, so that's what you should go about it. It says, I was too naive. He took advantage of me. And, well, listen, we are and we are not. And I don't know when you guys met, but at age 32, you can be naive, but you're not that naive not to see an asshole when you see one. Unless you don't want to see one because of your needs. You needed the attention, you wanted the attention, therefore you put up with a bunch of flags that you could see just because you wanted the desire to be fulfilled through pleasure. And your ego wasn't allowing to accept your mistakes and wasn't letting you to see what you're getting into. And you wanted to actually be proven that this thing is just as I'm seeing it, not really promising. So you went through it, and then now you learned it. So you now have the full experience of that whole thing. So don't worry about it. Nothing was your fault. Don't regret what you did. And perhaps that was what you had to do in order, not knowingly, but in order to flush out the dragon. And you saw the real face. Okay, maybe that was something for you to try and see what will jump out. In light of your maybe bad choice of behavior that you feel that was a trigger. It wasn't a trigger, it was just open the door. So it's all right. That was good in a way. So let's go on to Mark. Says, I've noticed I've gone back to missing the X, but it's because it's hard to focus on a new purpose because of the lockdown. Just sat dueling at times. Male, 36 UK. Yes, Mark, that's true. Right now the opportunities are limited. Not too many places to go, not places to meet people. So these are a little bit trying times, tough times. You gotta find new ways, like the caveman, small surroundings. Maybe chopped some wood and hunted for food, and his time was spent on preparing the necessities of life and not the luxuries or future projects. So therefore, for you, should also be the same. You focus on things that you can do around the house, around your immediate areas, the little projects, things that you always wanted to do, and that's probably a chance. But create a new order in life, new set of mechanical processes, things that you can do, which is independent from the lockdown, and you can create a smaller world for yourself rather than expecting it to be as wide and open as it used to be, and then you get disappointed because they're no longer available to you. So you need to focus on, how do I now make this world that used to be so open and big and wide a new discipline for myself, and be able to live in it happily and productively by a smaller version of that world that I used to belong to. That's what we all have to do. It's frustrating for all of us. Everything has been kind of limited down, whether it's making money, meeting people, frustration, and just don't let your mind run ahead of you. Stay with the present, stay with the now, stay with whatever it is that you're doing at the moment. Don't envy what it used to be, what is not no more, because that's going to bring you down emotionally and make you feel depressed. Go with the moment, and moments are very small, and in every small moment you can handle them, and they're things they can do about it, but before you know it, that small moment is over. So you're always safe if you stay in the moment and not to let your mind expand to how things used to be, how it should be, what things I don't have right now, and I wish when it will be happening. So you're kind of creating haste. So in other words, what was it that I came up with? I was walking on the beach the other day, and as usual, I was pondering on things that could help myself and help other people to understand life a little bit better. And when you think about the future that hasn't happened yet, I will look into my notes, see what I did say at that particular moment. But I think the essence of it was this, that thought will expedite time, because a thought is time. By thought you create time, not chronological time, but psychological time. And when you keep going into the future and compare to what it was, to what it should be, what it is not, and all that, you expedite time. And when you expedite time, you create anxiety. So instead of expediting time, to stop time, slow time. By slowing time means stay in the present. Don't let your mind go somewhere where it expedites, speeds up time, and you can't catch up with it because you're here and those things that you're conjuring up is not available. Then you create anxiety in yourself. So instead, just stay with the moment and try to live in the moment, and don't let your mind run with things that are not available, and be in the real actuality of world. And then you will find mind is here, and because your body is here, so mind and body both are in the same time span and time and space, and both mind and body will be coordinated. When mind and body is coordinated, you create balance. When your body is here, mind somewhere else, either in the past or in the future, wants something that doesn't have it and wishes for that and wishes for that, then you're creating imbalance because the body is here, but mind is agitated all the time. That's why we learn meditation, in order to bring the mind from all over where it goes in the past and future and all over the place, and bring it and have it focused and to be where the body is. Then we have mind and body both at the same place. Then we're like the wheels of the car, we move together. Mind and body moving together, both facing the same direction and moving together, both together, coordinated. Then we have balance. When we have balance, we're more alert, more sharp, more relaxed. Things become cleaner as far as the vision. We can understand things, judge better, and then make better efforts in order to make that, whatever life is, more palatable, more manageable, and create that balance that we all are seeking for. So it is very important for you to not let your thoughts expedite time, where it creates anxiety and depression, disappointment, and so on. Instead, bring life to yourself, but being one with the moment, and put your efforts in where the actuality of life is happening, in the moment, in the now. Now, where were we? Mm-hmm. All right, and Mark says hello. Okay, all right. And Human Tale says, what should men expect and not expect after a divorce with a baby or a kid in terms of forging a new relationship? Forging a new relationship with the ex, or with new person? If you're talking about a new person, like a new girlfriend, or for her new boyfriend, my suggestion, advice is never bring the new person into the life of your child. The child must not feel that now that mom and dad are not together, but somebody else is going to share mom, or somebody else is going to share my dad with me. Don't bring another woman into the life of your little child when they're in their infancy or young, very young, child. And the ladies, don't bring a boyfriend into your home. You want to go out on a date, make sure when your child is with his or her father, or I don't know, safe member of family's grandma or grandpa, then you go out on your date. Don't bring that man inside your house. That creates psychological insecurity for the child, feeling like, who's this guy? He's sharing my mom with me. My mom is only mine because somehow something has gone wrong between mom and dad and they're not together in the same house. Now, I don't want to share my mom or I don't want to share my dad with somebody else. So dads, the same. Don't bring another woman into the house. There's one mother for your child, and mothers, there's one father for your child. Respect that. It doesn't matter how much you hate the guy, and it doesn't matter how much you hate the girl, gentlemen. The child is not part of that. He or she loves both of you and expects both of you to be there to protect him or her. That's what you signed up for when you ended up becoming a parent, when you got married or when you got children. And you got to stay true to that. The child is not a toy, was not part of the decision that you made to hate this guy and go, jump in the bed with another guy, or you leave your wife and go and jump in the bed with another girl. Or whatever the situation was that you guys decided not to be together, the child was not part of it. You cannot force it upon him and have to be decent enough to respect his or her space and her right or his right, which means a mother, a father. If you guys don't like each other, doesn't matter, but do not deprive the child from the mother or the father. Has the right. Don't play that legal game and try to, force it over and, get another boyfriend or get another girlfriend. All that nonsense. Don't bring them in front of your children. Let them understand they're safe psychologically and physically. You don't know who that hoodlum is that you bring into your home anyhow. You know all kind of shit can go on. And you don't know what kind of woman you bring into your house in front of your child. So don't do that until they're old enough that they can fend themselves. And then you can have your other. That's the price you pay if you want a divorce when you have a child. If you can't think of that, then you shouldn't have. So the child has the right, and you respect that and show that psychologically the child and physically the child is going to be safe by showing that the mother only belongs to him or her, father only belongs to him or her. Nobody is going to take any part of the father or the mother as far as the child is concerned. And you got to create that atmosphere. That's your duty. And that's how you do. You want to go on a date? Go on a date when the child is with his or her mother. And the mother, you want to go on a date? Go on a date when the child is with his or her father. That's it. No ifs and buts about it. The rest of it is bullshit and nonsense and lack of sense of responsibility for whatever reason you might think. Replace the man as a father. Bring another guy. Replace the mother. Replace the woman as a mother, a new mother, or somebody that so you feel, see, I'm powerful. I can do whatever I want. Bullshit. Neither of you are doing the right thing. That's the price you pay if you want a divorce when you have a child. All right. Let's go on to and the new lady in life of a man should know that she's got no right to the child, and make sure that she will follow your lead, and you shouldn't bring her in front of the child when the child is very little anyhow. Same thing goes for the other side, the woman's side, and bring another guy and all that. Just don't do that. The child will never forget it. You may think you're getting away with it. They're bringing a new whole atmosphere of a new guy, a new father, or new girl, or a new mother, all that shit that you think you're doing. The child will never forget it. you will lose your respect. It'll take years in order to regain that trust and respect back. Don't give it up what you already have. That's the respect and love of the child. Don't mess it up by thinking about your own pleasures and your own bullshit that you have created in your own mind. Don't have a child. If you do, stay responsible and true to the child. Both of you, man or woman, husband or wife. That's what I have to say about that. Now, Human Tail, tell me, you didn't tell me about your protocol. Gender, age, and where you're tuning in from, if you don't mind. And Jeffrey says, hi, Mehran. The man, great to see. Oh, man. Oh, the man. Good to see. Good to see you too, Jeffrey. Jeffrey from Toronto, right? I've been having crazy memories of my ex today in the back of my head today, but oddly enough, you've done good with just letting it flow and not even engaging them. I've done good. Okay. Yeah, good. All right. Jeffrey says, oh, and Jeff, male 3220. That's my boy. Thank you very much. Happy says, thank you, Mehran, so much for all your advice. I really appreciate all your wise words. My pleasure. And if you guys really appreciate my wise words or whatever you get at this channel, bloody hell, make it grow by sharing the videos you like or promoting it somehow on your social media. God damn it, do something. We're going to be disappeared if we don't really do something, because we are lost in the sea of YouTube, and we're trying, and we are we have opened our place, and we have a place in this world, and we are helping people. And when they find us, they swear by it, and they don't let us go, and they become part of, this channel, and this channel becomes part of their life. But we are not found. So help the channel to help more people, to reach more people, have more exposure, and help more people. So that's what I ask in return. Happy. And Jeffrey says, it's hard when you can't go to the pub. Well, yeah. It's kind of funny how this is not funny, but just fascinating in a way. And Zedziki says, Zedkil says, Mehran 26 male Sweden, please help. Again? The only help I have for you is right here. I'm going to show it to you, so you may want to think it through. It's called the ugly stick. You know that. You know this very well. You're acquainted with it, right? So what the hell have you done now? Says, my ex of 2 years and I are not on speaking terms. Bloody hell, are you supposed to be in speaking terms after 2 years with your ex? I mean, this is not going to come on your head anymore. This is going to be hit hard on your head. So brace up. You're becoming really, I mean, I gotta get on a plane and come to Sweden and see what the heck you're all about. She says, she ignores me. Well, yeah, your ex, 2 years. What's wrong with you? And last contact I made was over a year ago. Well, yeah, isn't that enough to forget about her? It's her birthday today, Mehran. I really want to reach out. Why? Should I? No. Leave her alone. What do you expect? For her to send the police to your door? Harassment? It's 2 years. Damn it. Move on. Before you know it, you're 80 years old and you're saying, oh, it's been 70 years I broke up. I wonder why our communication is not... What are you talking about? You broke up. What does that mean? Do you know the word X? I mean, the alphabet X? X marks the spot. X means no longer. So you're saying my no longer is no longer talking to me. It's a no longer to begin with. It's not supposed to be talking to you. So let it go. You're so lucky that there is no flight. Otherwise, I would have been there. I like Sweden. You know? And you are living in a land of beauty queens. Sweden. How many beautiful girls are there? And you're stuck on this one? What's wrong with you? Mark says, good. Oh, you're talking to Luna, all right? Gavin is here, says, hey, Mehran, male 27 USA. I saw a picture of my ex with another guy, all right? Hallelujah. She moved on after exactly 1 year. Well, how long did you want her to wait? She used to say deep things like, can't imagine being with another guy. Well, everybody says that when they can't imagine it. But now, lo and behold, she can imagine. The imagination has come back. It's time for you to move on. Because that girl that told you all that, she was right then. But now, that's not the same girl. And things change. You've changed. Look at you. You've done so many different things since then, and you have grown so much, and you have to. You're supposed to. What do you want her to be? To break up with you and not even go out with anybody else, even after a year? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with any of you these days? I'm going to hold on to this because I feel more secure with this thing in here because you guys are pissing me off. No. And he says, even when she broke up with me, well, then, she can be saying what she wants to say. You shouldn't be stupid enough to believe it. You should know human psyche evolving and human needs are there, physical and psychological. So she's bound to go out with someone eventually. Why did you wait? You broke up and you expected to go and live in a convent? What did you expect, really, honestly? Gavin, what's wrong with you? How come this quick? This quick? 1 year, 365 days. That's not quick, that's slow. Why people say these things and forget so quickly? No, they didn't. It took a year. After 5 years of dating. Well, that's about the right time. It should be not more than 5 months. And she's actually 7 months late. And you're a year late from moving on. So stop thinking about her, think about yourself. You should be moving on. And Human Tale says, female, 45, Tehran. Oh my goodness. You're reaching us from Tehran, are you? That's amazing. That's amazing. I was talking to a lady from Iran today, and I thought you guys can't easily get to YouTube. And so it's delightful to see someone from there. And how did you come up with that name, Human Tale? That certainly throws everyone off. Anywhere from Tehran for anywhere else. Well, lovely to see you here. Delighted to see someone from the old neck of the woods. And Elite Gaming says, where the cup of tea? Here it is. You can't catch me with that one. And this one is by Taylor's, as you know, Harrogate, of Harrogate. And it's green tea with citron, with lemon, and it's delicious, delightful. I've been having herbal tea for so long that I lost that tingly taste of thein in tea, and I started having the green tea last night. I did a bike ride and I wanted to have this when I had my dinner, and afterwards I felt so good that I remembered how it tastes, that little kind of, I don't know, weird bitter taste. And Steve says, I'll throw a question into the mix. Go for it. So we were together for 11 years. Ouch, that's a long time. And the guy she met at work is now her new squeeze, okay? Although I'm in control of my thoughts, I'm trying to keep things amicable for our foster son, 7 years old. Good job. she doesn't really, she doesn't reply to basic questions about school, etc. Will she eventually get over herself and reply? She should. Maybe you just write her a letter or sit down with her and invite her to cordial, respectful, pleasant, well-behaved tea ceremony, and talk to her and say, listen, dear, I appreciate the fact that you and I are no longer compatible for whatever reason. We don't want to get into that. But the most important thing is the responsibility that we both chose to take on our shoulders, and was taking good care of our foster child. He or she has had no part in this decision. Therefore, he deserves or she deserves what we intended to begin with, raising a child in a safe environment and a friendly, a psychologically and physically friendly and safe environment. And we're not doing that by you cutting me out of the day-to-day events of his or her life. We need to keep that project going. I have no expectations from you. You can have your own personal life, and I will too. But we must stay true to what we promised. The foster child has even more sensitive issues than if it was our own child, because he or she has never seen a stable family. And now that for once it did, for 7 years or how many years it is that we've been with him or her, now suddenly we're cutting that off, and you're trying to ignore my request for information to be involved in his life so he can feel his father's still there, his mother's, and you're trying to replace that. You're creating another foster family among unstable family for this young person whose main problem was not having a stable family. Now you're creating the same. Let's not create the same situation for him. Let's continue being involved. Don't bring another man to his life, and I don't bring another woman into his life. We still gotta be doing our duties, and reply to me. Let's consult about him, his schooling, his whatever it is, and let him feel psychologically secure that father is there, mother is there, and nobody is going to be replacing any of us for him, and so on. And this is what I'm here to talk to you about. And I want us to be mindful of that. It's not about me wanting to get close to you or have you back, or you the same here. It's about what is real at stake here, and that is someone's psychological balance and well-being, and we are responsible for that. So that's why I asked you here, and I hope you adhere to this and you agree with me that we should have a clear, friendly, cordial, cooperative policy on this for his sake. And that would probably be something you need to do. And Human Tale say, I used to live in Canada, but moved on to Australia, then Dubai, and now Tehran. What's the matter with you? Became a gypsy? What's wrong with you? Round and round and back on the same spot? I don't think that would be a most desirable place to be right now for many reasons, and so I guess you might have your own reasons, but I assume you probably moved because of relationship from Canada to Australia, or maybe some change of opportunities, and then you ended up maybe for some other opportunities or relationship to Dubai, and you went to visit to Iran and you got stuck with some guy, and then things happened and you stayed, and now you're regretting every step of the way. So why don't you complete the cycle and come back home to Canada? All right, Gavin says, or is selfish to go from one to second person. It's what she done all her life. Who cares what she's done? You got to focus on what you're doing. And what you're doing is to following what she's done. Stop focusing on her. Your life is in front of you, not on the side, this side, or in the back. Other people's life is that side, here, there, or in the back. Yours is the only one in front, and that's where your head should be. Eyes front. That's it. You watch where you're going. Focus on your own life. What are you focusing on hers for? Who cares what she's doing? Stop that nonsense and move on. Become your own master. And Gavin says, it's why I said quick, because she had many boyfriends. Who cares? You shouldn't be counting. Why are you counting on her? Count your own girlfriends, not her boyfriends. If you have any, for heaven's sake, go show me that you can get a girl. Go get a good girl and live your life. And so, don't get me upset, guys. I'll get on the plane, maybe charter a private plane and come and beat you guys all up with my friend Ugly Stick. Don't forget. I'm very powerful. Joy says, hi, Mehran, female, 35 UK. Joy, that's a new name. You're a newcomer, aren't you? You seem to know everything about here, my name, and the protocol, as proper as it could be, and thank you for that. But the screen name is new, Joy. You've never been with us before. Or maybe have you been one of those people incognito, hiding behind the rocks and just watching and listening and not participating. All right. And she says, I broke up with 2 years boyfriend and keep ruminating past. Why? Past is dead, non-existent. Why do you ruminate on something that is dead? You don't go on the cemetery and ruminate as much as you ruminate on, your memory. Cemetery, you don't go there. Why? Because you say, it doesn't matter how much I ruminate, it doesn't come alive. Whoever that was. You understand that. But when things that are still in existence physically, but in psychological relationship or in relation to you, they've ended, you have a hard time accepting that. Why? Does someone has to actually physically perish before you actually understand that relationship connection is ended? Why can't you simply be free? Cut the rope from the dock and free your boat and start rowing in the ocean. There's so many islands, so many amazing, wonderful things and treasures to be found. But unless you unlock this lock, unless you untie this boat from the dock, you won't get the chance to row the boat and find new amazing things. So cut the cord. And she says, he already moved on 2 months later and I feel replaced. So what? You feel replaced? Instead of feeling replaced, you say, I would have never wanted to be part of that machine, let alone being replaced. I'm the wonderful part, way above this machine's capacity, and I don't want to have anything to do with running this machine. I want to be placed into a machine that is appropriate to my qualities and my expectations and my performance level. So in other words, if you're a real pristine quality part of an auto, you don't want to be part of a, Chevy, right? You want to be part of a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Mercedes-Benz. So if that's not any of these three, you don't want to be a part in that machine. So if that's being replaced, hallelujah, you're off the hook. And you can go on and find yourself the Lamborghini that you deserve to be part of. That was a pretty good explanation of that. I guess you guys got it. So, and say, because he moved on fast. I wanted him to suffer the breakup like me. Oh, don't worry, he will. He might have. That's why he jumped for 2 months later to get another one, because I don't know what your relationships were, but why do you care if he suffers or not? You should be focused on the fact that you wouldn't be suffering, not that, oh, he should be suffering too because I'm suffering. You know, there was a joke, I'm gonna throw that in. Listen carefully. One day God says to Gabriel, go around the universe and bring me a report what's happening in the places. So Gabriel says, yes, God, or I don't know what they call each other, your Highness or the Holiness or whatever it is. Gabriel sets on course, goes on different planets in the universe, and then long time later, which is in a jiffy, pretty much in their time span, Comes back to God. Says, God, I got it. Says, okay, got it. Come here. Okay, let's have tea. Bring tea, and everybody brings tea, and they start. God happened to be Persian, so they like to have tea. So Gabriel says, well, I went to different planets and different star systems and all that, but then I went to another star system, the whatever it is, our star system, I forgot where the sun is. So they said, and I checked many planets, and then I checked a planet called Earth. It was interesting. God said, "Oh, what was interesting?" We said, "Well, on Earth, I tried different countries, and I went to a country, and they were speaking French, and so it was France, and I heard the man praying before sleeping. Says, God, please, my neighbor has 10 horses and 5 sheep. I have 1 sheep and 2 horses. Please give me a few more horses and few more sheep so I can also survive." And he says, I went to Germany, and I saw a man in his farm and praying. Says, God, I have 10 horses and 20 sheep, and my neighbor has 100 sheep and 500 horses. Could you please give me another 50 horses and 20 sheep so I can make this year a little bit more successful? I appreciate that. Thank you. Vielen Dank. Because, I wanted to be really, connect to God. Spoke German too. So, and it says, but then I went to each country, Japan, and they were praying the same way to please, my neighbor has so much land and so much crop was good and so many horses and cows, and I have no cows. Would you kindly please give me 20 cows so I can also have milk and give it to the local stores and make money? So every one of them, he says, until I went to a country called Iran, and I heard the guy says, Lord God, my neighbor has 55 horses and 150 cows and 200 sheep, and all my sheep have died. My cows are on disease and they're dying, and the horses are no longer good. Would you please kill a bunch of his too, so he'll also be as miserable as I am? That's a cultural thing. He says everybody was hoping to have something more, and this one in Iran was wishing that his neighbor who's got more stuff also be reduced to what his level of stuff was. So that is the mentality differences. So the moral of the story is that you are focusing on giving suffering to the other one instead of focusing on you not suffering, and that is pretty much the same as the story as Gabriel was telling his God. So I ask you to focus on building your life and advancing forward, moving forward, and don't worry about what that guy is doing or how he's not suffering and all that. Focus on tearing the suffering away from yourself and moving forward and opening new roads and finding new opportunities and bringing happiness to yourself rather than wishing somebody else to suffer just perhaps like you are. That was the moral of the story, and now we go on to and Stephen says, thank you kindly, Mehran. I will reach out again with that thought process to her. It's especially hard due to COVID. I haven't seen him in about 3 months. It's hard, but he is my priority. Yes, keep it that way. Keep it that way. That is, you're going to be your best friend. You pay attention to him. The child is more important than either one of us. You guys are big enough, know what to do, how to handle things. Don't think he's immune to that. Don't think he's sheltered, shielded with that. No. And Gavin says, love you, Mehran. I have been watching all your recent lives. I have never said anything in live because I wanted to give new people a chance to speak to you. Thank you. You're quite welcome, Gavin. Delighted that you've been around. And Human Tale says, I'm absolutely fine in Iran as I actually live in my room with everything I need, my craft, my workout equipment, etc. That is why I'm extremely cool and enjoying the 2020 pandemic. Oh, okay. So basically, according to your advice, it is best not to form a relationship with a guy with a baby, an ex-narcissist, to keep my own sanity as a single lady with no kids. Yeah, why not? If you are not into that relationship already, you have no responsibility for that child, and you don't have to put up with the narcissism of this person. Why should you? You know? And Benjamin says, having a very hard time with my HOCD. It's gotten better, but it's like I get a weird feeling in my chest now, like a nervous feeling when I see a male and my thoughts are saying to come out, and it's sad. No, well, listen, that nervous feeling is because you are simply frightened because of the competition that you may not measure up when he has more chances to get the girls than you. You're envying. That's an envy feeling. Don't be bothered. Look at the guy, look at that male, and look at every muscle, and then say, so what? I don't care what thought shows up. I know who I am, what I want, what I like, and what I don't like, and this is nonsense. And I'm just really into girls. I love girls, and doesn't matter. I just don't want to be in a position to think that somebody else has a better chance with the girls than I have. And that's the anxiety that you get, which you should be watching the videos that I have from number 1 to number 20, as I mentioned to you over and over, if you have to, in order to rewire the synaptic neurons, and through neuroplasticity, by constantly thinking about these new way of thinking and understanding, putting your focus towards it, you will rewire your intrusive thoughts to understanding that these are thoughts and mean nothing else. They have no mandate, no power on you. You have the power to choose and free yourself from these nonsenses. You don't have to agree with any of that shit that either your eyes sees or your ears hear or your thoughts pop up and conjure up in your brain. Simple as that. And you go on and focus on the playlist Intrusive, Transient, OCD, HOCD, Negative Thoughts. Watch them from number 1 to number 20. Don't just go through them. Listen to them, understand them, and try to put them to work for yourself. And through repetition, you will be rewiring this way of thinking. And don't be bamboozled by the thoughts. Thoughts have no intelligence. What makes you think that thought that comes to your mind has any knowledge about who you are? It's a thought. It learns from you in order to learn what to think, and what it thinks has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the information that somehow found its way to your consciousness. And that information is out there on TV, on videos, on lifestyle and things that you see, and that becomes a topic of a thought manufacturing plant, which is the brain. And when it shows up, pops as a thought, you believe it. Oh, it's in my head. No, it's got no credibility. It's a thought. Like a music that is played by somebody. It's not your music, but you can hear it. Just because you can hear it, that doesn't mean you made it up or you can play it. Just because you can see a turd on the street doesn't mean that you're interested in that. You can see it. You have the ability to see. Just because a thought pops up in your head, that doesn't mean that you agree with it or you're interested in it and it's got anything to do with you. It's irrelevant to you. It's meaningless to you. It's a thought. You move on, diss it, pass by. That's how you do it. And keep watching those videos. And now, this is actually quite, good that we are all here. But at the same time, don't you guys think that somehow something is wrong? I've put an ad for this live talks on Saturdays, 1 p.m. For the past 5-6 days on Facebook. And everybody knows that we have a live streaming at 1 o'clock. We have 13 people here. Don't tell me why I stopped these live streams, and you say, no, we need you here and all that. Look, 13 people with all the advertisement, all the things, and all the videos. That's the dedication. So that means there's not enough interest, perhaps. That's what I think. And Joy says, thank you. Yes, I'm new to the channel, and a good analogy about a Ferrari and replacement. I keep imagining him and his new GF having awesome sex and living the life. How do I stop? No, they can have awesome sex, so you can have awesome sex. And why do you think it's awesome? If it was that awesome, you would have known it's awesome. Whether it's awesome or not, it's sex. It gets over. Then what are they going to do? They can't be having sex all the time. They can't be having the relationship based on sex only. That's part of it. But what about the connection and consciousness? What about the compatibilities? That's the problem that's going to seep through eventually, as it did in yours. The reason you guys broke up, maybe not because of sex, it probably because of the content of the consciousness and lack of compatibility. The conditionings that you have received in your consciousness and the conditioning he had received in his consciousness were different. Therefore, divisions and conflicts are normal. Yet you think just because there's a physical attraction of some kind or some kind of a history in the relationship, then that should be enough to know. The consciousness is dynamic and dynamically modifying and changing, and as it changes, your interest in this particular character changes, because your goals in life would be altered according to your knowledge about what you want to accomplish in life. And then no longer he would be part of it, or you would not be part of his. Right or wrong, that doesn't matter, but that's the process. And just because somebody, your ex-boyfriend, find another girlfriend is having sex, so big deal. You were having sex with him, but that didn't keep the relationship going. So that means the physical intimacy is not the bonding substance to keep the relationship together as a guaranteed. It's a content of the consciousness and compatibility of the thing and the differences that brings the conflicts and divisions and makes it work or not work, whether you guys grow together or fall apart. And just as you guys had sex but still fell apart, well, why do you think that just because they're having sex, then they're immune from falling apart? That could happen too. But don't wish for that. Just focus on the fact that just because the guy found somebody, that doesn't mean shit. And even if it did, so what? Let them have their own thing, and you focus on finding a nice man for yourself and take care of your own life. Don't worry about how much money the other guy makes. Worry about your own cut. That's all. I don't care if your partner in business makes $1 million, and if your share is $200,000, then focus on the $200,000, because that's your deal. Be happy for you. Focus on you. Don't worry about what the other people are doing. That's your life. Build your own. Don't keep watching. How can you be faster than anybody else in a track team, in a track meet, when you're constantly looking around, see how far is the guy from you? Oh, this guy's coming. Oh, that was going. How can you focus on your own running? I'm saying focus forward, run fast. Don't worry about what's behind you, what's around you, what's beside you. Just do your best. As long as you do your best, in my book, you're the winner. I don't care if you're the first one passing the finish line or not, but you did your best without being distracted, without being concerned about, oh, how far is this guy? How far does that go? Oh, that's coming. That's going. That takes away from your focus and your ability to put your best foot forward and accomplish your task the best you can. Build your life the way you want. Be the best you can be by focusing on your road and your track. Stay on track. All right, let's see who else is here. Human tells us he, as a known journalist at the age of 48, messed up by impregnating a woman who he couldn't see as a partner, but had to get married to her due to culture, shame, but life goes on. Oh yeah, well, that's what happens. So you don't have to worry about that. He had his choice, I guess. He made it or made a mistake, however it was. It's no longer your problem. You focus on your life, make a good life. Life goes on, and you're fine. And you are, let's see, where were you? Where was that information? How old you are? You are human tail. Did you tell me about you a little bit? Did you? I don't have that information. What is your protocol? Or did you give it to me and I already forgot? What's your age? Human tells it's a shame as we have very good intellectual connections and physically attracted to each other as we know each other for 12 years ago. Okay, you're 45. Well, you're young, and there's still men of good character that would be appreciating such intelligence and accomplishments and age, and obviously you have your workout equipment in your home. That means you take care of yourself physically, and obviously you are interested in your mental well-being and advancement. So life is good. So he's not in your life, so big deal. That's his choice, or however it happened. Obviously, it wasn't that committed relationship that he actually went and impregnated some other girl. So why don't you focus on that? If he was that kind of a guy that you're really boasting about that high, then he wouldn't be going around, or that kind of relationship that it was really good and amazing, then he wouldn't be going around doing whatever the hell it was that he did. If a relationship is good, I can understand if somebody is not really sure about the relationship, so going with different girls or different guys or whatever, they haven't made up their mind. But once they have, which you seem to say for 11 years you guys knew each other, whatever it was, there must have been a relationship that you feel sad about it not being the same anymore. But the guy went with another girl. That means the relationship wasn't that solid as you thought it was. It was an illusion. Or for whatever reason, that's what the guy has done, which means it wasn't as solid as you thought, and it wasn't worthy of your pondering on it right now. Which means the road ahead is clear for you to go on the runway and take off and soar as high as you want, choose a better man or choose someone who's suitable to your liking and build a life. It's perfectly fine. You never had a relationship, so what the heck is wrong with you then? To move on. So what, you were just admiring each other from the distance? So obviously you have no idea that it would have probably not been anything good, because if you guys knew each other for that long and never really had a relationship or tried or anything or whatever, it was just a casual sex here and there, well, okay, that's what it was then. It never got into anything else. And no matter what it was, he made a choice, and now you understand because of the choice that he made, whether you guys were together or not together, or I don't know what the relationship was, whatever it was, it wasn't what you thought it would have been or should have been or was, because the guy ended up impregnating some other woman, which means that wasn't something you should have brought home about or counted on. So move on, dear. Move on and live your life. Life is short. You don't have time for this nonsense. He made his choice, and so it turned out the way it has, and you go and do your thing. And she says, we're living in different country, met online and met in person in another country, and we moved on. And he contacted me after 5 years after his divorce. Now you're telling me. So you got me go run around the world. Why don't you tell me the story from the beginning? You got me guessing it all. All right. So while we wait for the next installment of this story, Gavin says, why do we have a heavy heart after breakup? Why shouldn't we? It's an emotional thing. It's something that is connected to fear, ego, pleasure, desire, order of life. mechanical process. Everything is connected to it. Of course, you will be sorry about not being, and if anything else, you've been used to it, conditioned to it. So naturally, that's the natural reaction to have it. And he says, physically, it feels heavy. Could you make a separate video on that topic? I already have. The videos are already there. You know, why you feel devastated. I think that's what it's called. There's so many of them. Remember, guys, we have over 1,700 videos, standalone videos, on the topic of breakups and things to do with thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, material process, mechanical process, order, and things that makes you tick, things that make your psyche tick and makes you be who you are. And if that wasn't enough, you can always go on Skype on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Make an appointment on Skype for one-on-one interaction and one-on-one consultation to explore what's concerning you on Skype together. And if that wasn't enough, then of course, you've got the choices of the videos to find what you're looking for, or the live talks that I have every Saturday. And remember, we had it for a while, 2 times a day. Through the pandemic, to help you all, and we all remember that. Now we have it once a week, and if that was enough, again, you can go on my site, make an appointment, and we'll hash it out, what's concerning you, together, one-on-one, on Skype. And the Human Tail says, yep, you're right, I'm glad I told him I need a month to think and center myself, as I don't want to get myself into a drama and mess as enjoyments pass and consequences remain. Yeah, that's right. So as I understand it, is that you guys met online, and then you met in person, and then you were together for a while, then you moved on, and then he went and got to know another girl and got her pregnant, has a child, and now divorced from her, I guess got married and divorced, and then now he's writing you to be together, and you're assessing, should I or shouldn't I? That's the story. So I guess at this time you make up your mind that, look, you better stay with the mother of the child, or I'm out. I think that's the story, I guess. I hope I got it right. Satsiki says, Mehran, do you have a video for fear of never finding another girlfriend? Yes, I do. There's almost anything under the sun you can think of after your breakup, there's a video on it. Just go in there and put in your feeling. Like, I feel lonely, or will there be another one? Or, something, whatever you said here, you will find it. Will I have another girlfriend? Is that the final? Is that the, will there be another one? Something like that. Joy says, Mehran, sorry, can you please address my question above too? You skipped. Oh, did I? I apologize, Joy. Where is it? I think I had a Human Tail running me around the world and not knowing what's going on. I didn't know if I was coming or going. Let me finish. Human Tail says he was a journalist. He kept on moving from country to country. And Human Tail says, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, somebody can be moving on, but you have all the choice in the world not to follow them. So just because they're moving doesn't mean you should be following them. You can have your own direction, and you move on about your affairs, and you make your own decisions, But I guess that decision is made for you eventually. So let's go to Joy. Joy says, oh, I did, didn't I? And so Joy says, thank you. Yes, I'm new to the channel, and a good analogy about the fair. Okay, we got that. And says, I keep imagining, okay, we got that one. We discussed that one. And says, Joy says, but I heard rumors he already got engaged with her, so big deal. He can have it. I know he falls fast, said I love you to me in 1 month. Okay, that's why I feel so worthless. Oh, come on now. So he's the pinnacle of values and worthiness, that he is supposed to be in this world to give values to people like you or somebody else. Where the hell did he get his values with the character that you're describing him like? So, and how low do you think of yourself that you're waiting for some guy who really doesn't have things together, to give you value by his behavior or his lack of attention to what's right or what's wrong. What's wrong with you? And so, and says, that's why I feel so worthless. Am I that forgetful? Oh, come on now. So your whole beef is that if this idiot, a loser, has forgotten you, which sets up your level of value, is that how you think of yourself? You've set the bar so low about your values. You're getting your values, your affirmation from some loser who actually you think somebody thinking of you makes you valuable, and somebody forgetting about you, moving on to another girl that makes you not valuable. What's wrong with you? Why would you come up with these kind of nonsense? Who's the guy? Are we talking about the same guy? Is it some guy, or are we talking about some deity from another planet that can cure the common cold and heal people with diseases and bring about peace and equality and bring about comfort and safety? Is that the guy we're talking about? Because if that's a guy, I'm with you. If he's not friend with you, then obviously you're not that valuable. But if that's not the guy, it's just another guy. Well, then you gotta just think it through what you're saying, because what you're saying doesn't make sense. Your worth and value is in your own hands, not in someone's attention or someone's selection of you or not. Who the hell are they? What have they accomplished in life, give them such authority and such capability? Come on, get a hold of yourself. And says, isn't she crazy, or is it rebound? Who cares? Who cares? What do you care? What do you care what she's thinking about? Rebound or whatnot? Who cares? You think about yourself. Suggestions for your live show, Joy. Okay, it's a change of topic. Right away, you're cooling me down because I was getting really about to get the ugly stick and have you to put your motorcycle helmet on, because I would maybe give you a little bit of a nudge on this to get your attention to your real life. And suggestions, she says, for your live show, you should say live or advice on your title, or use hashtags so people can find more when they search. Send me the hashtags. I don't know how to do these things. Send me the relevant hashtags and I'll put it in and figure it out. And put the hashtag after the title, right? Just right after the title is finished, push the hashtags. Is that how you do it? And I can. But I've said live here, isn't it? It says anxiety, depression, OCD, HOCD, and breakup live. Isn't that enough? But I can do that. You guys give me advice and suggestions that you think it works. I'll definitely consider it and search around and find out what works. And Gavin says, Mehran, you have a wonderful week. I'll see you next time. Take care. Yes, definitely. Thank you for being here. ASP India says, hey Mehran, I'm Arjun, India 26. Hello Arjun. And Human Tail says, I never follow any guy. Well, yeah, right you are. Now you learned your lesson. If you are worried about it, then be your own master. Human Tail says, I have enough self-respect. I knew he was in Iran too, as I would see him on news channels, but never had the urge to contact him. He contacted me after he messed up. Now he wants to know me. Too late. Too late. Now he wants to dump the problems on you. Just don't fall for that. Move on to a guy who's ready to be fully committed to you and not out of need or a little later than earlier. And Human Tail says, it's just that past memories of having a good connection triggered and made me talk to him. But I guess since he is in a bad place, he needs someone sane to connect to. Well, this is not a time where you can count on getting to know his real intentions. He may actually think his intentions are honorable and he really likes you and all that, but also it could be having those thoughts from a deep well somewhere that he sees you as a solution. You don't want to be with a guy who sees you as a solution, because that guy will eventually lay a heavy burden on you, and at the same time, he will pretend as much as he needs you that he's the solution to your problems. And no one is a solution to anyone. Each person is responsible to lead their own life and accomplish their own tasks. And then on that note, you'll be able to have a balanced relationship with the one that you love. Otherwise, if you consider that person as a solution to your life, then you will expect too much, and at the same time, you will bear a lot more than you should, and so none of that is going to be working. Right now, he's probably so soft and kind and interested because he sees you as someone who can perhaps shield him, and that's not the right psychological station. It's not stability. And right now you are compassionate, seeing his problems, and you probably want to help, and that could interfere with your real feelings about him. Because we human beings always like to help people, and by helping people we feel important. And I hope that you see all the differences and keep your importance to you be used for your own goals that you want to accomplish in life, and not become part of the solution to someone else's problem, but not the solution to your own interests and challenges ahead. All right, let's go to Arjun says, I have been following you from 2016. I'm now very depressed from June because I don't know the reason. I lost my happiness. You lost your happiness? What the hell are you talking about? You can't lose your happiness. Have you lost your child? Have you lost your mom or dad? Because that can hamper that a little bit. But you'll get over that. Even if you lose your dad or mom, eventually, God forbid, of course, eventually you'll get over it and you accept it and you go on. If you've lost your child, I can understand that. But if you've got none of these happening, then the rest of it is nonsense. Because happiness is not something to lose. It's something that you can always gain. You can't lose happiness. Happiness comes and affects you, and then you go to another moment of happiness, and then another moment of happiness. It's not like you have it and then you lose it. You always grab it from things that you do and accomplishments that you make and so on. What kind of thinking is that? And he says, I lost my happiness. I am having negative thoughts about my health again and again. Please help. Well, listen, we all have all kinds of thoughts, because brain is a thought manufacturing plant, thought manufacturing factory. And like any factory, it makes lots of products and lots of junk products. But you're supposed to have a quality control guy at the end of the assembly line and grab on those low quality products that have been created through the assembly line and reject them, throw them out, just like thoughts. Thoughts show up, and many of them are just garbage thoughts. Who says that every thought that shows up has any meaning or any usefulness? It's a thought manufacturing plant. It manufactures garbage. A thought, 80, 90,000 thoughts a day are manufactured, and most of them, all of them, are nonsense. So you're not supposed to be paying attention to thoughts. You're supposed to pay attention to actuality. Thought has no actuality. Thought has no substance. Thought is an idea, is a garbage, is nothing, is nonsense, is irrelevant to you. You compare all thoughts against the relevancy of it to your life, against your gatekeeper, your core values, your super consciousness. Your whys advocate about your values. You gauge them against those. And when they don't measure up, you let them be. So, okay, I realize you're there, you stupid, intrusive thoughts and nonsense, negative. I don't care. You're there. Okay, you're there. You can be there, but I don't care to pay attention to you. I don't have to be paying attention to you. I'll pay attention to what I want to pay attention to. You select. You're the boss. Like the vision. You see things, you select to look at them or turn around. You hear things, you select to listen to them or plug your ears or go away. And the same thing, thoughts show up, you select. Is this thought is meaningful to me or not? It's not. I diss it. I don't agree with it. I'm not interested in it. You go on and pay attention to whatever it is that you want to accomplish in that life. Just because a thought shows up, that doesn't give it any right for you to focus on it. Thought is nonsense. It's not intelligence, it's nonsense. And don't ever be bamboozled. That's why I said to you, watch my playlist, Intrusive, Transient, OCD, HOCD, Negative Thoughts. In that playlist, you have about 50 different videos. From number 1 to number 20, the ones that are numbered, not part 1, part 20. Number 1, number 2, number 3, to 20. It will tell you about HOCD, but regardless of what it is meant for, HOCD, OCD, forget it. Focus on the explanation about the relationship between thoughts and you. That you're not thoughts, thoughts is not you. You're not the brain, brain is not you. You understand the separation between you and thought, then you become free. Free of mind, and free of thoughts. And then you're a free man. When we don't understand the relationship between thoughts and us, the fact that we are not thoughts, thoughts are not me, that we are not brain, brain is not us, that frees you from being dependent and bound and jailed by the idea that thought is you and what it thinks is you. It's not. It's got nothing to do with you. Thought is garbage, nonsense. It's just an apparatus. If you remember, I talked in my other videos and other discussions that we as a human being, we weren't even able to speak or think until 30,000 years ago, but yet we were thriving species. Our problems started when we started learning how to think 30,000 years ago. Doubtful minds, negative thoughts, all that. Before that, we were all like animals, instinctively. We would sleep, we would hunt, we would have sex, we would know our gender, we would everything. There was no interference, there was no confusion, there was no nothing. Everything was clear because there was no thought. Why? Because thought had nothing to do with when you were given your heart, your kidney, your liver, your gender, your genitalia, your anything that you are. And thought can never have anything to do with taking them away. So when they show up in your brain, it means nothing. You should understand that. There's a you and there is a thought. Thought is not you, you're not thought. You were way before thought even showed up 30,000 years ago. For a million years you were living. There was no thought. So you're independent of thoughts. Keep that, then you're all safe and happy and free in life. And you can let any thought come to your mind, doesn't matter. It cannot change you. A thought can be there like anything that is out there in the air, debris, impurities, or shit on the floor, or garbage on the roads. Doesn't matter. They can be there. You just pass by. You notice them. You pass by. You can't say my life is perfect if there's no intrusive thoughts, there's no bad thoughts. It's like saying I can only travel on a road that is all pristine and clean. No, there are all kind of shit on it, but you just go because you got nothing to do with them. You move on. Same thing, thoughts shows up. You don't give a shit. You move on. That's part of being a human being. We have thoughts, all kind of nasty, garbage, disgusting thoughts. Doesn't matter. That's part of being a human being. Right? That's part of being a human being. All right. all right. What else do we have here? All right, so we go to, so I've seen many of your videos. When I saw you live, I feel a little bit better. After that, it's gone back. Well, no, you're just being allowing that because you're believing opposite of what I just said. Once you understand what I'm telling you about, then you'll see that you're free. No amount of thought can change you. Means nothing. Your happiness is with you. It's like Austin Power, in his movies, he was looking for his mojo all along. And at the end of the movie, he found out the mojo hadn't gone anywhere. It was always in him. It's all in the mind. So don't believe it, it won't happen. Don't believe it, it's not there. Believe it, then you think it's there, but it actually is not there, but you think it's there. Then you're fooling yourself. All right, let's go. See, ZZ says, I have a relationship anxiety which makes me needy. It's like I cannot live without my partner. Oh, you can, because were you not alive before the partner came along? Huh? What's the answer to that? The answer is yes, you were alive and you were functioning, right? But there was no partner. So what happened? That tells you that you don't need the partner to be alive and live and thrive and accomplish, because when he wasn't around, when you didn't even know about him or her, you were doing just fine. So it's possible. But right now, you think you're being lazy, and it's better to, why? Don't be lazy. Just don't be lazy. Believe in yourself. You don't need anybody. You've got everything you need in order to accomplish and thrive in this life. Focus on that. That's just an emotion. It's like a toy. Get another toy. No big deal. There's so many of them available. And Zizi says, we had a misunderstanding a week ago. All that is clear now, but he asked for space. I agreed, and I said, I respect that. So we weren't calling each other, but he was texting me all normal. Well, don't respond to him. And if he says why, he says, because I want to give you your space, and I want to keep you free, and I want to be free myself to think about it. Bring a little bit of a challenge into it. Don't say, I'm here until you're ready. I'm here. I'm waiting for you. No. Say, well, I'll leave you alone so you can do your thinking, and I also can do my own thinking and say that if this is the right direction that we are going or not. Simple. That's it. No more discussions, but something to let him say, hey, it's not all a sure thing. And he says, but the second day I messed up. I became all emotional and missed him so much. Oh, God. He felt low, so asked him if he could call me, and he clearly said no. After that, he's been texting me very short. Don't text him anymore. And she says, I obviously blame myself for that. I then wrote him that I'm sorry, oh God, and I do respect him, oh God, and his space, oh wow. You're making his head bigger and bigger until to the point that he can't even fit through the door. And now I just text him once a day or none a day just to ask about his well-being, what to do. Never call or text him again about what he is. He's a grown man. He can take care of himself. If he had a problem and if he thinks he wants to share it with you, he will tell you. If you want to give him space, really, like you really think he needs a space, if he really does, then give him space. But at the same time, you're giving yourself space. You say you have respect for yourself, then you gotta have respect for yourself. Meaning, stop texting the guy, because all you're doing says, I'm a doormat. Come on, wipe your feet on me. So I'm asking you, have respect for yourself and give yourself time. It's not that you give him space. Give yourself space and understand what you're all about. Why are you so needy? You shouldn't. Learn to be supporting yourself, and psychologically and physically take care of yourself. Do workout and create more energy, good energy in yourself. Accomplish some things that you always wanted to accomplish. Bring that kind of a confidence in yourself, and then you won't be hanging around to be confident by having someone's attention. You will be giving that attention and accomplishments by yourself, through yourself, to yourself, and you will be feeling much better. And then you will have that gravitation that other people will feel towards you, because you're a happy person, you have a good energy, and you have accomplished things, you feel confident, and they feel that. Once they feel it, they'll have the propensity to come around and talk to you and get to know you, and then you'll decide if they're the right one or not. Not out of need, out of judgment. And that's what I have to say about that. Let's go on to Joy says you already have hashtag breakup, hashtag OCD, life coach on your descriptions, but you should add hashtag live on there, and maybe hashtag live, hashtag relationship, hashtag love, hashtag advice. I can only have 3 on these things. Okay, I understand. Those are my suggestions. Not sure if anyone else has. Okay, good. I'll try it. Next week I'll have these. Let me just copy these and put it somewhere that I can use it later. Command C, and I will copy it here. All right, where is it? There we go. Command V. There we go. All right, I have it. Thank you very much, Joy. I will use that. And then Human Tail says, I don't have any problems, thank God, as I kept working on myself, growth for the past 5 years. Good girl. All right, then. And Joy says, yeah, I know. I have low self-esteem because my ex gaslighted me, but engaged after 2 months. Mehran, that's so fast. And he met her online after me. How can you decide to marry someone so compulsive? No, the question is not that. The question is, how can you continue thinking that he actually is a man with sound mind and sound decision-making process? Knowing what he has done 2 months after you online marrying someone, the question would not be how can one do that. The question would be why would you, and how can you actually pay attention or consider such a person as someone that is worthy of your consideration. That's the question. If you answer that, then we got it. And so we go. Human Tail says, thanks, Mehran. Your last piece of advice is gold. You mean the others weren't? What? I'll take my last piece of advice out now that you. So I'm glad I am not a drama queen, an attention seeker, and be content and enjoy my own company. Probably he's just a taste of life. Ah, of course you are. Of course it's taste of life and this and that. It's just part of the fragments of this journey. It's not the whole entirety of the journey. Just imagine how many things you've done in this life, how many things you've learned, how many mistakes you've made, how many lessons you've learned, how many accomplishments you've made, how many part of the different journeys taught you something different. And you are telling me that this one particular instance is the whole entirety of this whole journey? Without this whole other stuff that you've gone through, you wouldn't be able to be where you are or have the opportunity to examine this the way you are doing it or experience it the way you're doing it. So this is a fragment of the part of this journey, not the entirety of this journey. Therefore, you cannot treat it as if it is the whole entirety of the journey or the meaningfulness, the totality of the meaning of your life experiences. And it's just one, as you said, part of the taste. And so be it. Let it be treated just as much and just as such. Nothing more. Whether you need that kind of relationship right now at this juncture of your life, that's beside the point. That doesn't mean it's a truth or it's the right assessment of your need or your intention or your preferences. It just means that happens to be, let's say I'm hungry and I see a burger maker place and I just go have a burger. But that doesn't mean that burger is my preferred food. It just happened I was hungry. I could see a burger and I could associate with it, hunger, burger. Okay, it's my choice, but it's not. It was what it was available when I needed it, and therefore it just matched what it would have remedied my deficiency in nutrition at that moment. But if I had the choice, burger would not have been my choice. So right now, You shouldn't be making any of such assumptions or such decisions based on the need at this juncture of your life. You might be looking at it that way, but if you look at it deeper and clearer, just like you did, you would come to the summation of that this is just one of the tastes of life. Not the entirety of the experience of the tastes in your life, not the one taste that explains all your life, but one of the fragments of the experiences that you've been in this life to experience, and you have. That's a taste. Okay, gone. Was good for what it was, but it wasn't the whole entirety of the thing. It doesn't explain the whole entirety of the things, not even close. So be mindful of that, then you'll be fine. And Zizi says, okay, Zizi did say, and Mark says, did I answer everybody? I did. Guys, remember, you'll always have the chance to go on my site, mind@6truth.com, click on Talk to Mehran via Skype, or click on the Skype emblem that is turning around on top right corner of the page of the site, and click on that and make an appointment with me. And for a new client who makes an appointment with me for an hour, I'll throw in another hour, so we'll have 2 hours to hash out and discuss what's concerning you, one-on-one on Skype. I'm always just one Skype away from being there and having your back. And we have Mark says, hey Mehran, Mark John 44 Glasgow. Hello Mark, good to see you here. I've been struggling for years, he says, with anxiety and depression. My wife of 10 years left me when I developed gangrenes of the bobby. How can I move forward sexually? Mark, I think you're a troll, and I appreciate you simply enjoy your time out. I might be wrong, but I think I'm not that wrong. So have a nice day, and if I'm mistaken, I wish you well, and I hope that you will be cured of all your problems and find your whatever it is you're looking for. Have a nice day. All right. I obviously, Zizi says, blame myself for that. I then wrote him that, we did that. Okay, we did that. And ASP India says, I tried your meditation also. It's better. Please post more videos about meditation as a series. Listen, I've got like maybe 10 videos on meditation. Short ones, 1 minute one, 1.5 minute ones, 20 minutes one, 29 minutes one, 30 minutes one, elaborate one, 3 different kind of meditations. It's there. I've done it live. You can do it. It's guided meditation. All you have to do is just do the meditation with me on there while it's explained to you. Honestly, you don't need any more. But it's there. And Relaxing Sleepy Sound says, hello, it's James here. I'm 17 from London. I'm at an age with my HOCD where I don't have much anxiety and thought, but I keep on getting anxious about not thinking about the thoughts I've lived. No, don't worry about not thinking about it. Listen, you understand this. Let me read it. With them for 6 months now, I don't know. Okay, listen. And says, can you fully get over HOCD to a point where you never think about it? Well, listen, why do you think that you should not be thinking about this or that? You are a thought manufacturing entity. You are a diehard heterosexual, and you are so alert about this topic that all the projectors are fully lit on this subject. That's why it's constantly on your radar to alert you, to watch for it, to make sure it's, because that is something that the brain does, tries to protect you and finds what is most important to you, your gender, as it is to all of us, and wants to alert you and protect you, and then overly alert you, and therefore lots of thoughts. And then everybody in this world, 94.9%, if not more, I believe it's 100%. 94.9% of the people in this world have intrusive thoughts all the time, meaning every day. The other 6% are either lying or they don't understand it. Why? Because that's part of humanity. If you have a very good active mind, inventive mind, you can come up with new designs, new products, new inventions, new ideas. That's an inventive mind, imaginative mind. With that strong imaginations, the manufacturing brain, the thought manufacturing brain will make all the more thoughts of all kinds because it's capable. It's more capable than other brains. And part of that would be the topics of the day. And the topics of the day these days, the past 40 years or 30 years or 20 years, is a lot more than it was 50, 60 years ago about sex, objectifying male body, and constantly focusing on the gender differences. And these talks and thoughts and topics are constantly in the environment, in the bullhorns, in the news, and in the topics of discussions. Therefore, the brain, being intelligent and intuitive and able to understand or get that information and stored information like any other information that we receive from all kind of different mediums in the world, whether live or through media, through videos, through news and all that. It keeps all that information and makes thoughts of it. And these thoughts could include homosexual thoughts. If you're heterosexual, that bothers you. If you're homosexual, heterosexual thoughts bothers you. But it will make sexual thoughts of all kinds. And having been objectified, male body having been objectified for the past many years or short years, in comparison with the women's body being objectified, that never bothers us because that's natural for heterosexual people to focus on their opposite sex. But lately, the male body has been objectified, put on billboards for women's pleasures, for advertising on underwears and advertising all kind of other things, and brushing it and making it all six packs and this and that, so forth. And the male looking at it, it gets more of that image and information in their thought manufacturing brain, and then it starts throwing out all kind of thousands of different kind of scenarios and imaginations, because that's what brain does. But that doesn't mean that you have any particular interest in that gender or in homosexuality when you're heterosexual. It just means you're part of a humanity and your brain has capability of making thoughts, and it does make thoughts out of anything that you shoot at it. Just like a manufacturing plant that is trying to produce whatever product that they design, but sometimes a different material gets in the assembly lines and the machines and turns that into some kind of a product. But then quality control guy says, well, that's not the product we designed. It's just the wrong material and wrong configurations, then rejects it. But we don't have any of that. So anything that is manufactured by our brain capability, because of the information that seeped through and is stored in our consciousness, because it's become apparent in the world in some way or another, then we think, oh, that means I thought of it, therefore I'm homosexual. No, it's not. It's a capability that we have. We can imagine anything. If you can imagine a lion or an elephant with a lion's head, that's one of the most difficult things that the neurons in brain can do. It's called neural ensemble. For neural ensemble, which is something that doesn't exist, but you create an existence for it, like the head of a lion on an elephant, so many neurons should line up and synchronize to create that picture at the same time, which means traveling that information from one end of the neuron to the other neuron, different distance, it has to be synchronized, so it'll all take place at the same time, the top and bottom of the picture. The bottom and top part of the picture, the head lion, the elephant tail, or vice versa. The things like a duck with a duck face and the, monkey tail. You can create that, but these are the most difficult. Only a precise brain and capable brain can make those things. So if they can make these unnatural, untrue, unrealistic pictures, we have the capability of making all kind of other pictures, including homosexual thoughts for heterosexual man, all kinds of sexual thoughts that you have no interest in of any kind. But because you have an inventive mind, and intrusive thoughts is part of humanity, human's ability, the human brain's ability, it happens. It shows up. Imagination, thoughts of it, ideas of it. But you're not supposed to take that as a suggestion, as part of your identity. It's just there as part of your capabilities, just like you invent a product that nobody else has invented. Like Nikola Tesla. They called him, he was a genius of the world, but he was also called, if it was today, they would call him schizophrenia. But these are capabilities of a brilliant mind. It can imagine, conjure up all kind of imaginations and pictures and thoughts and ideas, and it can also extend into sexuality of all kind. But that doesn't mean what comes to the mind or pops up in the brain, it has anything to do with you, your interest, your gender, or changing your, having any kind of a changes in future or now or ever and before about your gender or genitalia or your interest, sexual interest. None of that. It's just a capability of the brain that it does that. And you, the boss of the brain, you diss it. So, okay, I see that with you. I'm not interested in that. I keep on going, do whatever I want to do. No matter how many millions of times these pictures, imaginations, or suggestions, or feelings, or anxieties of all kinds shows up. Doesn't matter. You react physically to a thought. Just like you react right now to a sour lemon. If you think about a sour lemon, or you're in a vineyard and all the grapes are green and sour, and you squeeze one in your mouth, or you get a lime or lemon, you squeeze it, ooh, and put the salt on it, you start salivating. But there is no lemon here, there's no sour grape here. You're physically reacting to a thought of a sourness. And that is a capability of mind. So when you see some body of a male and you think, it means that I'm a homosexual, you're not. Because it's been objectified, they've been showing all these pictures on the billboards, and then you see that fit body or big muscle or six pack, and you associate that with your chances of getting a girl, because to you sex means having sex with a woman. And when you see those muscles, well, you know that you train your muscles to get the girls. You want to look good for the girls, and you see somebody looks good, or somebody has a fit body, and you associate that same body parts that you have in that person, and that associates with having sex with women. And then suddenly you feel envy, and then you feel like, oh, I paid attention to the muscle of the man because that was connected to sex with women. And then you say, oh, because of that I thought of that male. No, you didn't. You're not interested in that male. You're interested in the concept of sex, which for you is with women, and it happens to have the muscles that you train yourselves, your own muscles, to have, to present it to the woman that you like. But you see it in that person, and you feel envy, and you feel inferior, and you feel then, oh, that means I'm anxiety or anxious or interested in that man. It's not. It's just part of thinking process. 90,000 thoughts a day shows up at. All of them are nonsense. The only thoughts that are your thoughts are the thoughts that you purposely go into your consciousness and figure and pick up certain kind of information to produce something, create something, design something, learn something, accomplish something. That's your thinking, or calculate something, figure out something. That's your thoughts. The rest of them are pop-up thoughts that have nothing to do with you, because you're not thoughts. Thoughts are not you. You're not the brain. Brain is not you. So be free, be relaxed, and understand why you react in the way you do, because of the world and the information that seeps through the mind, and the mind has the capability of making thoughts, and that's all there is to it, nothing more. Relax. All right, I take a break for 1 minute, and I'll be right back, just heating up my tea. All right. Change of tea. and change of hat. And do make sure you watch the playlist Intrusive, Transient, OCD, HOCD, Negative Thoughts. There are 20 specific numbered videos. There are like 50, 60 videos in there in that playlist, but 20 of them are numbered, not part one, part two, but just numbered videos. Watch those and understand how thought is formed, the relationship between thoughts and consciousness. Why is it that intrusive thoughts take place? Why we think of all these things that have got nothing to do with us? What happens in there? It's all explained from number 1 to number 20. You do that, and you'll be far ahead in what you want to learn in that subject. Nikki says, hello, Mehran. Happy Saturday. Spent the whole day with my mom. Ah, good job. Hair salon. Oh, okay. Exciting. Nail salon. Oh, love it when ladies take good care of themselves. It's just so amazingly classy. And facials. Oh, wonderful. We had a wonderful day. I'm glad for that. Bonding time. Excellent idea. Hope all is well with you. I thank you very much. I had a nice bike ride last night, and I plan on doing it later on today when it cools off a little bit. Right now, it's pretty warm. Or is it maybe because I'm so tuned in responding to the questions? It's heating up the... Let me just turn my Dyson on. All right. That's maybe a good idea. Okay, now... Human Tale says, I don't need any relationship. If I want to, I would choose to be in one. Yes. Your other statement were 18 karat gold. Oh, was it now? Let me know. Maybe I'll just patent that. It says, the last piece of advice was 24 karat. Ah, really? Oh, the other ones were 80 karat. Well, you just fixed it up, didn't you? Cheeky girl, but smart. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm delighted that you're enjoying it. And the last one, so the previous one, your other statements were 18 karat gold, but the last one was 24 karat. All right. May your breath be warm. Damn it, get. You're one cool cat. Thank you for that. And you're funny and good spirit and good energy. All the best. Chinmay says, Onan says, on Human Tale says, it's 2 a.m. here. I'm really appreciative. I really appreciate your time in answering questions. I wish you a great 2020. I had decided to create this year as my best, and so far I'm grateful, have been successful. Delighted to hear that, and more power to you, and I'm sure you accomplish anything you put your mind to it. You set your mind to it, and obviously it looks like you're on track, and good for you. And Chinmay says, good day, Mehran, sir. The girl is uploading sad quotes on Instagram. Now I know, therefore, me, due to the obvious hints, she's a very unstable person, and I'm truly worried about her. I still love her. Well, move on. Don't worry about it. You're not her daddy. She knows how to take care of herself, and don't fall into that. Just move on. Stop this. We've talked about it so many times, and if you still cannot get out of the hole, then it's your own fault. Otherwise, everybody's out there with the chain and the Jeep and the tracks and sending down stuff to grab onto you. You hold on to it so they can pull you out. You don't want to come out, that's your choice. But I suggest to you, you should stop that nonsense and stop finding your evaluation by becoming somebody else's gopher or doormat, or dedicate yourself to someone who actually doesn't have that kind of intention about you, and the rest of it is just maybe your imagination. Nevertheless, if it's not a clear clue and relationship is not happening, you should move on, and that would be my advice. This behavior is holding me back. Well, no, you're not. That behavior is not holding you back. You are holding you back. You are the only one responsible for what happens to you in these sort of circumstances. If you cannot consider yourself the most important person in the world to you, then you have nobody to complain it to. So you want to be weak, be weak. You want to take care of yourself, take care. So you're not harming anyone, and that doesn't mean you should not be taking care of yourself either. So move on and live your life. My professional life is being affected. Yeah, and it says this behavior is holding me back. I can't stop worrying about her. Well, I told you you should stop worrying about her because she's not your responsibility. It's stressful because it's been months now and my professional life is being affected. Well, that's your own choice and your own problem. It's not, you can't blame it on her. She can do whatever she thinks that is good for her, however it pleases her. And you buying into it and becoming the puppet of that string master, being a puppet master, then it's your own fault. You know that you guys been separated for God knows how many years, and then just let it go. Move on. And I almost moved on, but now I'm disturbed. Well, you're disturbed because you want to be disturbed. You're afraid to move on. Move on, try other things, other islands, and you'll see there's sun shining other places as well, and you'll be fine. Unless you do, you won't understand it. All right? So just do. Stop this nonsense. You're not her daddy. You're not her responsibility, and you don't owe her anything. You know, she chose to break up with you, and that's the end of that. That's it. It's been, how long have we been talking about this? And the Lugani says, Mehran 23, Mail London, had one last call with my ex. She said I was a mistake. You should have told her, no, that's not what my mom and dad think. I was not mistake, I was purposeful. And yet, so I had one last call, and she said I was a mistake, and that she said I was a mistake, and that she regretted going out with me. Okay, well, yeah, good ridden. She tried to throw her new boyfriend, teaching her to drive at me. I don't understand that, and you shouldn't really give a damn. Move on with your life and don't call her anywhere. Do not call your exes. Simple. Move on. Life goes on, and life's got lots of things in store for you, and it's your responsibility to go and search for it and explore it. And there's lots of things out there. So once you guys stop creating more problems for yourself, and let's deal with what we're all facing with this damn pandemic, and make a meaningful life out of it as much as you can, and have a new mechanical process for your life, create new order and discipline for it, new routines, and live your life until this damn thing goes over and we all go back to our lives as best as we could. Guys, it's been 2 hours and 31 minutes, and I think I have not short sold you this time, and it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again next week. Remember, please do share this news of the live talk with your friends and anybody else that you can think of. And I'm going to put a link up here for you to share the link of the 2 minute or 1 minute and 46 second video about this this live thingy. And so you guys can share it on your social media and have people to join us. And here's the link for you. I've just renewed the link that has a, oops, what happened? Anyhow, I think we got cut off. This is the link for letting people know that we have a live talk every Saturday at 1 p.m. And share it on your social media. I look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Oh, sorry guys. I don't know what happened. I was trying to put this for you guys here. I got disconnected and then I tried to redo it. I didn't know how to do it, and the list came in. I still didn't know. So anyhow, I figured it out. So uh, and so Human Tail says, have a great day, Shah lookalike. Khuda Hafiz for now. Khuda Hafiz, dear. I wish you a wonderful day as well. And Dilugani says, I left that girl. I hate that girl. However, I've decided in line with my dad to move on. She's evil. Okay. And it hasn't sent the link. Yeah, the link is here. Now, yeah, my problem was that I got disconnected and I didn't know how to get back on it. So I created a new one and I ended this live talk over there to put them together. But I can end it here now. So now, properly said. Love you all. Thank you very much for being here and helping to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again. Please share the link that I put in here for you and let people know that we have a live stream. They can come in and ask your questions, and I will try to fix the title with the hashtags that one of our friends suggested here. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.